The reaction to the results of the talks have been very controversial here in the United States. There are those who say, well, Donald Trump blinked first, and then there is the second category of people who think, well, actually, China reduced duties on American imports to 10%. In comparison, US tariffs on Chinese goods will fall to 30%. So China is still facing higher tariffs than the United States in bilateral trade. And so they perceive, the second group perceives this as a win for the United States, even though, as you just mentioned, higher tariffs typically entail higher prices for consumers here domestically. And I was just curious, what would be your response to that second category of people who still take it as a win?
Well, there's Econ 101. They should enroll, uh, figure out how to do a little bit of simple math. The U.S. imports 1/4 of its consumer economy. That means one out of every $4 is imported. You compare that to China. China is minuscule. If you look at what the U.S. imports, and it's not just from China. Everyone talks about China as if it's the only game in town. It's not all coming from China, but a lot of the component pieces are. So if you're buying something from Vietnam or Cambodia or Malaysia, Indonesia, even Australia, guess what? A lot of component pieces come from China. That's why China is single-handedly higher in production than the next, 10 countries combined. So this is the reality. America is going to pay 30% more for what it imports from China. Tell me how that's a win. These are things that are necessary. When people go to, prepare their kids for school next year and they're thinking, well, I have to buy some sneakers because his or her grew over the summertime, and I have to buy some clothes and a backpack, pencils, paper, there's some books. Guess where all of that stuff comes from? China. So, I mean, how are you winning by taxing your people an additional 30%? For China, the taxes aren't going to hit the consumers. They're going to hit businesses who use not so much services because they're not taxing that, but machinery from the U.S. But the most valuable machinery that China would want to buy and that they would buy even if it had 30% tariff on top of it is, in fact, the stuff that the U.S. won't sell. Chips, memory, certain kinds of high technology associated with avionics, things like this. So, you have a situation where I just wish people would just put aside all the kind of nonsense that's out there. Just do the math. You're paying an extra 30%. How are you winning? How is China losing? I don't even understand the concept